कुमार साहब नायक गोंगो लुगू लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, curfew will not be lifted anytime soon. PM unveils another monument. And local meat demand increases.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
The nationwide curfew currently enforced from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. will not be lifted anytime soon. The Health Ministry has partnered with relevant arms of the government to conduct a thorough risk assessment on the current status of COVID-19 in Fiji and how the pandemic is revolving around the world. Josina Nunga reports the ministry needs quality time for assessment before lobbying technical opinions to the government.
The Health Ministry continues to encourage Fijians to behave in the new normal, even though Fiji is now COVID-19 contained.
We certainly believe that we have to protect everybody and the vulnerable also in our communities. We also see that there's an evolution of the pandemic. The pandemic keeps on continuing to change the way it performs and behaves. In essence, we have to keep our guard up. And I think the most important thing that we as a Ministry of Health continue to push today is about making sure that we operate in the new normal.
Dr. Wanganambete says a technical committee is working around the clock, monitoring the situation at the local, regional and international level. He reiterates health frontline workers are exhausting every avenue possible to reduce the risk of a community outbreak.
And if you look right across the world, there continues to be lockdowns and in rise in patient numbers. In some countries that actually the numbers have come down. And what we're seeing from data all around the world, that the vulnerable and the fragile, they lose their lives with the pandemic.
Fijians should continue following the COVID-19 restrictions for our own benefits.
I think the curfew should be lifted when everything goes back to normal.
As most countries eagerly await the confirmation of the coronavirus vaccine, the health minister says Fiji will ensure all necessary safety requirements are met before easing any of the health safety measurements in place. Josina Nunga, FBC News.
A man in his 30s has died in a road accident. The victim from Laselevo village was a passenger in a vehicle driven by a man in his late 40s when it veered off the road along Tampani Mako along the Sawani Road earlier this morning. 7 other passengers in the same vehicle are admitted at the Vunindawa Hospital. An 18-year-old is admitted at the Nangali Health Centre and will be transferred to the CWM Hospital in Suva. The driver is being questioned at the Nausori police station as investigation continues. The road death toll currently stands at 30 compared to 47 for the same period last year. Another monument was unveiled by Prime Minister Vorengen Bainimarama today, symbolizing Singatoka's celebration of 50 years of Fijian independence. Bainimarama says Singatoka is known for producing some of Fiji's finest rugby players, and people approaching the town will be greeted by the marvelous stallion. Kritika Kumar has more.
This 12-foot stallion, holding a 6-foot-tall rugby ball beneath its foot, will be the center of attraction for visitors to the Singatoka town.
It will stand as a symbol of the town and its surrounding area, and it will invite travelers to explore what Singatoka has to offer. It will remind them that Fiji punches above its weight, not just in rugby, but in everything we set out to do. On the world stage, in the South Pacific, in sports, and in the struggle to make this world a better place. Fiji counts. It is something we can be enormously proud of.
Bainimarama says the monument also demonstrates the town's dominance in rugby.
Like the stallion and like all of Fiji, Singatoka has a big heart and will always stand tall. So we may have to make room for a soccer ball under those hoops, as well given Nandrana's rising star on the football pitch. And I congratulate the Stallions on their recent senior division title.
This project was funded through a grant from the Ministry of Local Government and the Tapu Group of Companies. The Prime Minister also recognized 20 local businesses that have been operating for at least 50 years. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
The Fiji Meat Industry Board has noted an increase in demand for beef, pork, sheep and goat meat in recent months. Chief Executive Vimal Chand says the business took a dip by 50% in March, but picked up again from April as the company reviewed its business continuity plan. Chasai Nunga tells us more.
The demand for beef and pork meat picked up drastically in the last 4 months due to the easing of certain COVID-19 restrictions.
Demand dipped down in March and then it picked from April. So basically we are dealing in local livestock. We are here to encourage livestock farming and also we provide market to the small livestock holders. So we are back to pre-COVID normal times now.
The Fiji meat industry is working closely with the Agriculture Ministry to increase the local production of this meat.
Because we are only dealing with local products, we are back to normal now. We have revised all our buying price and also our selling price. And as all our butchers and supermarkets are our clients, they have also reviewed their buying and selling prices.
Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy believes there is potential in the livestock sector.
Over the next 12 months, you will see a number of programs that we will be executing, progressively taking it closer to the households in urban, peri-urban and rural area to fulfill our objective of food and nutritional security.
The ministry and the board are collaborating in its quest to boost the quality of meat products in the country so that it meets export standards as well. Chosai Nunga, FBC News.
The Fijian government, through the Ministry of Education, is stressing the importance of hygiene and hand washing in schools. In light of the pandemic, Assistant Minister for Education Joseph Nund says they're working with stakeholders like United Nations Children's Fund, Colgate-Palmolive and the Ministry of Health to implement hygiene practices in school programs. Venina Rakautonga has more.
Proper hygiene is the most essential exercise during the pandemic.
We're all focusing on COVID right now, and rightly so, but it's really important to keep in mind that washing your hands and basic hygiene are essential to keep children safe from all the other killers of children, diarrhea, pneumonia, and all the other diseases.
Assistant Minister for Education Joseph Nund says they're ensuring students follow the hand washing programs.
But due to this pandemic, we're unable to fully execute that because the students lost many hours of work. But yes, there's we have a program in place and we should be rolling out early next year with the help of our external partners.
A number of agencies have come forward to assist the ministry.
Well, yes, first of all, they will be getting these materials, soap and all other hand washing equipment and supplies. So probably that's why we have an edge. And then at the same time, students will have access to these soaps and hand washing items.
Colgate-Palmolive has prepared 500,000 bars of soap that will be distributed to Fiji and other parts of the Pacific. Venina Rakautonga, FBC News.
Up ahead, President emphasizes on nutritional health and Lambasa market vendors raise concerns.
मैं तो दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ.
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
As Fijians focus on being food secure during the pandemic, they must also be aware of their nutritional health. President Major General retired Chiochi Konrote, during his address at the World Food Day celebration, highlighted that nutritious food needs to be accessible and enjoyable to consume. He also launched the Fijian-made video that highlights government's efforts to promote locally grown produce. Vinina Rakautonga reports.
Nutritious food must be accessible, affordable and enjoyable for people to consume.
We cannot suffer any lapse in our nation's nutrition security. In fact, this crisis has revealed opportunities we would be wise to seize. As we have endured this pandemic's economic devastation, we have seen many Fijians return to farming, rural and maritime communities.
The president says Fijians suffer from a broken food system which has led to a high rate of non-communicable diseases.
More and more of our people are choosing processed foods in recent years. This can be more convenient, they can be cheap, but they lack nutrition.
Minister for Tourism Fayaz Koya says it is important to get Fijians to think and buy local.
It is especially important now with wide-ranging disruptions in supply chains that have been caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. During this global pandemic, ladies and gentlemen, we need to bring the focus back to the essentials. We need to get Fijians thinking local and buying local.
The president has been named an eminent champion of the Food Systems Summit that will be convened by the UN Secretary General in October next year. Venina Rakautonga, FBC News.
The Lambasa market vendors and farmers have raised concerns with the Municipal Council about their daily challenges. Lambasa Special Administrator Doreen Robinson says security and the availability of space top their complaints. Kritika Kumar reports.
While the Lambasa Town Council is doing all it can to assist the vendors, they are being asked to also take ownership.
But you know, we can only do so much. Again, they need to take some responsibility for their personal belongings. But we're working with them.
There is also a lack of space in the market as the number of vendors has increased following the pandemic.
Most of the issues come from the fish market side of things, yeah. They're still getting used to their new surroundings. And again, the long-term vendors have an issue with the fishermen who pop up with their catch and want to sell as well.
Local Government Minister Premila Kumar says stalls are provided to small and micro businesses to help them sustain their livelihoods.
We want them to grow, right, in a market. And once they're able to stand on their feet, that's when this vendor needs to move out of the market, giving opportunity to the new set of people to enter.
The Municipal Council is working with relevant stakeholders to map out a plan to accommodate additional vendors and farmers in Lambasa. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
37 arrests were made in the past 2 days for breach of curfew restrictions. 16 arrests for breach of curfew were recorded between 11 p.m. Thursday to 4 a.m. Friday. The 3 arrests in the Southern Division involved a woman and 2 men who were found drunk outside a service station in Nambua. 3 women and 8 men were also arrested drunk in the Central Division. A 19-year-old man is facing a possible additional charge of driving under the influence of alcohol after he was stopped at a checkpoint in Flagstaff. Between 11 last night and 4 a.m., 21 arrests were recorded. The 5 reports recorded in the Western Division involved 4 men who were drunk, while an 18-year-old woman was arrested at Natokowanga returning from buying cigarettes. Of the 13 arrests made in the Southern Division, 8 were women who were drunk in public. 7 women were drinking liquor at the Lakemba Street bus stop, while a 22-year-old woman was found drunk in Narere. The 3 arrests made in the Eastern Division were recorded in Nausori, involving men who were drunk in public. A health survey conducted 4 years ago revealed that over 50% of children aged between 13 and 15 are exposed to tobacco smoke in public places and homes. Fiji has also noted an increase in chewing of illegal and counterfeit tobacco products, and this is a concern for the Ministry of Health. Kritika Kumar reports.
The cost of healthcare attributed to smoking-related diseases in the Pacific, including Fiji, is impacting economic development.
Data indicates an alarming majority of deaths from smoke from tobacco in developing countries across the earth happen within the economically productive age bracket of 30 to 69 years.
The Health Minister adds the social impacts of consuming tobacco includes unemployment, school dropout, poverty and addiction.
The total cost estimated in the Western Pacific region averages about 2.6% of the national GDP in the 15 countries that were surveyed in our region.
The Tobacco Control and Enforcement Unit is focusing on forming a tobacco control violation and licensing software to address some of the issues.
So we've held the 2 consultations already. So currently underway we are working on the terms of reference for the software.
The Health Ministry is planning to open more tobacco enforcement units at the sub-regional national level. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Ahead in sports, Nandronga triumphs over Nandi in Skipper Cup.
pula nadang go aprosa ng karse go erkraki do televio no barong na radio Fijuan nandomo ibit.
Radio Fiji One, nandomo ibit.
Nandronga made a strong comeback to beat Nandi 17-12 in the Skipper Cup competition at Lawanga Park in Singatoka today. Nandi pulled through a thrilling first-half performance, but wasn't enough to get the win as the Stallions staged a gallant fight-back to steal the victory.
Wangatambo raises the flags. Now numbers are right. Can they make it work? And they have. And the try comes in the corner for Aminio. Lifted up. Can they stretch the defense on the left? They can. And Nandi Velikas Andrew. It's there, I think, for Melineri. Set up again. Now Gavindi will get it out. Kandralevo. And now chance here in the corner. And work. Nandi defense closed. Now it comes out again for Nandronga. Quickly, Lawavo, Beniamino Kalonindo. The infield pass is brilliant. Olayasi Lawavo goes over. Api Salome Wangatambo, another good kick. And he's put the flags up.
We lost concentration during first half, but we came back for the second half. And congratulations for the boys for the great effort.
The Northland rugby side has booked its 2021 Skipper Cup spot and is now ready to challenge the Fairbrother Sullivan Trophy. They beat Bar 17-0 in the first Vodafone Vanua Championship semi-final at Ratadakambao Park in Nausori yesterday. Karolaini Tavi with the details.
Northland prop Inoke Rabuiwasa starred in yesterday's match after scoring a brace of tries in the first half.
Our mission this year, we have to win the Bainmarama Cup, and we are looking forward to challenge the Fairbrother also for this year. That's our mission for this year.
We are into the Skipper Cup next year. Not only that we're into the Skipper Cup, our next focus now is to win the Vanua, the Vodafone Cup and also the Vanua Cup Challenge, and to challenge whoever. Is it going to be Namosi or whoever team is there?
Northland showed class and experience early in the second spell, powering through the bar defense before open side flanker Eroni Leone finished it off with a try which was converted by fullback St. George Sisitale. The adverse weather condition affected the players as both teams failed to maintain possession.
We might blame the weather, but I told the boys no excuse. We lost today to a good team. That's all.
Winning the Vodafone Vanua Cup and challenging the Fairbrother Sullivan Trophy is top of the agenda for Northland. Karolini Tavi, FBC Sports.
The Fiji bidder Savu Sevens has received a timely boost ahead of its 13th tournament next week. Sporting brand BLK has come on board to be the official apparel partner and merchandise supplier for the tournament. BLK has invested around $4,000 in sponsorship for the Savu Sevens. Suva manager Suka Taufa says they are ready to support the tournament.
We are privileged and honored to be supporting and gives a small sponsorship to the 13th Fiji Beta Savu Sevens. And we want to thank the organizers that we can be part of your organizing the Savu Sevens.
Nandronga football fans gathered in Singatoka town this morning to celebrate the team's Court Centre District Championship Senior Division win. It was a sea of yellow as people marched through the town commemorating the team's performance. This was an important celebration for Nandronga as the IDC win will boost the players' performance in coming games. Nandronga had beaten Boer 3-0 in the final. A prize money of $7,000 was also given to the team. Fiji-born Suliasi Vunivalu scored a try in Storm's 30-10 win over the Raiders last night at Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane, Australia. Vunivalu's try helped the Storm become the first team through to the NRL season decider. For the first time, the Fiji Volleyball Federation will hold its club championship in 3 different districts simultaneously. Now that the associations are completing their knockout stages, top 4 teams will be selected to compete in a highly anticipated championship. Fiji Volleyball President Linga Ngukisuva says this is the beginning of one of the federation's many sanctioned tournaments.
It's actually the beginning of the Fiji Volleyball season for 2020. Our season starts from October to June every year. This year, like I said, with a long pause in the tournament because of the missiles that happened last year and also the pandemic in the coronavirus, it's been a welcoming gesture that we are able to hold this tournament.
And weather, cloudy and rainy conditions were experienced over most parts of the Fiji group today. A quick look at the weather map in the west. The day began with heavy showers, which cleared later, bringing humid conditions. Eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, overcast this morning with heavy showers. Sunny conditions prevailed after midday. And up north, occasional rain and thunderstorm in the forecast. At sea, northerly to southerly winds 20 to 25 knots. Rough seas, poor visibility in areas of rain and thunderstorms. And turning to the tides, the next low tide is at 1 tomorrow morning, followed by high tide at 7:13 a.m. Sunrise is at 5:35. Now, for tomorrow, expect cloudy periods with some showers over the northern, eastern and interior of the larger islands. Elsewhere, cloudy periods with some showers in afternoon or evening possible thunderstorms. Our further outlook, we're looking further on to Monday. Expect much of the same weather. And recapping the main stories for tonight, curfew will not be lifted anytime soon. PM unveils another monument and local meat demand increases. For these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question we're asking, do you think Fijians have shown resilience in the face of COVID-19? Visit our FBC website to answer. And be sure to send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, by Facebook page FBC News and our Twitter page at FBC_news. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow from the team and I, stay safe. Bye for now.
Bula FM, number 2 NSR.
Bula FM, number 2 NSR.